Hey, good morning everyone. I trust you are all doing well out there. We're doing good over here. I've got another review on a router. Wow. Yes, I have added another router to my collection. So this one, I hadn't really planned on it because I didn't even know that they made it, but someone suggested when I did a review on that last router to check out the Kobalt trimless trim router, cordless trim router. So I went online and I bought one. This is the model, gosh, what is the model? It said right on here. Oh yeah, on the paperwork. It is model 124B-03. So I've got here what comes in the box. It's tool only. I've got a battery on here, but it's tool only. Comes with an edge guide, the book, of course. This is my receipt from Lowe's because I bought it online. The knobs for attaching different things. This is the base plate and a dust extractor and the wrench. So one of the reasons that I went ahead and got this, by the way, this was $119, so it was 120 bucks, and that was, again, for everything here except for the batteries, tool only. But one of the reasons I got this thing is because this actually happens to use the same batteries as the 24 volt drills. Now, you may have remembered, if you've been watching for a while, Dad was using this drill to power his pontoon boat. He had a propeller hooked on the end that he bought, and this will kind of remind you, it was on episode 55, Senior Moments, episode 55. This was, I think, 54 and 55. Yeah, it's...
Oh, they hold it just like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a screenshot off of a video, so it's not really good. But anyway, so this, our pontoon boats, Dad hooked up these drills, and Dad never buys just one, so he bought 2 drills, and I had a couple extra batteries. So, we actually have 3 chargers. I only brought one out. We've got 4, and I think there's another one in there. We've got 4 2 amp hour batteries and 2 4 amp hour batteries. Oh yeah, there's another one there, a 2 amp hour battery. So I thought, well, since I only have to buy the tool, I'm just going to go ahead and add another one and do a review on this thing. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to set up, do some testing. I've already kind of done some testing and put some notes down, but let me just box all this stuff up, get it out of the way. And then I'm going to give you my my pros and cons. So what I've done is I've taken the housing and I modified it. I opened up the back like we always do on our trim routers because it doesn't come opened up on the back side, and I put our base plate on. By the way, I checked it out, and the dust extractor does not work with our base plate on there unless you remove one of the handles because it swings over to the side. Actually, I'll show you that because I was just kind of checking that out. And I know dust extraction for some of you guys is pretty important, but anyway, it goes on there and it goes in this way, but you can see how our handle is in the way. So if you wanted to use a dust extractor, you could do it, but you would just have to move this handle so it gets out of the way of the spout here. Anyway, that's just kind of a side note. I don't use dust extraction, but if you do, that could be something that you could still use our handles or our bases. You just have to move it out of the way. The other thing is we don't have a base for this right now. I just used a blank base, and if you go watch video number Senior Moment episode 15, you'll see how Dad actually uses our blank base plate to put on a router that we don't have one that's pre-drilled for. And all of our blank base plates come with a free centering jig. Anyway, I went ahead and mounted that on there. Super easy to do. Huh?
You're not going to make those?
No, probably not going to add these to the line unless something changes. But
and why is that?
Well, it's just, I didn't even know this router existed. Now, if we get a lot of call for them, then I might add that to the line. But Dad was really the master at making these base plates and putting them in the computer and get them laser cut. I can do it, but unless we get a lot of call for them, I'm not going to add it to the line. And because putting a blank one on it's super easy. Go watch that video episode, Senior Moment number 15, and it's super easy to do. So anyway, I'm gonna move this stuff off the bench, and I'm gonna come back and do some testing and give you my thoughts. We'll be right back. All right, so before we start doing some testing, I want to go through some features on this. This is a lot like a lot of the trim routers. It's got a rack and pinion on it. So this little gear initializes with this. It's a very easy on and off, which I really like. Because some of the trim routers, you've got little pins inside and you got to put them on exactly right. This is super easy to figure out exactly where to put it on, and it's just super on and off easy. Another thing that I like, it's very solid. It feels a little bit thicker and heavier than some of the trim routers. I don't know, the aluminum, when I was cutting through it, it just felt like it was a little bit heavier aluminum, or whatever this metal is. I'm assuming it's aluminum. Remember, guys, when you're modifying, you can just go right through that rubber and leave that rubber pad on there. But it's super easy to modify these things. If you have any questions on that, let me know. The other thing is, I really like see how this is kind of at an angle, and it's not 90 degrees or not parallel with the bench. It kind of is a little bit of an angle, and I don't know exactly why, but I kind of like that. So again, it's easy on and off. One of the things that I don't like is the micro adjustment. This thing, this knob kind of wiggles a little bit here, so you really pretty much, well, fortunately we have a depth gauge which tells us where we want it to be from a depth standpoint. So I really never use these little measuring meters here anyway. I know that's not the name of them, but that's what I came up with right there. But so I really wish it had a little bit better micro adjustment. The macro adjustment obviously is super easy. It's gravity does it. I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, babe. The macro adjustment is super easy. So one of the other things that I like is this switch. This switch is super easy to find. It's right in front. I normally carve in this position, so it's right in front, and it's like a lot of the trim routers, it's level, so it's not very likely that you're going to accidentally hit that switch, because it's level with that, which I really like. The power, to tell you where the power is right underneath there. That's a little bit difficult. I wish it was up here, but that's okay. That's not that big a deal. It's got multiple speeds, and you guys know, again, okay, so let me preface this. I am doing a review on this for sign carving. For doing other things, I don't know. I don't do hardly anything else with my router other than carve signs. So this is a specific review to carving signs. That's why I've got my base plate on it. That's why I modified the back. Anyway, so it's a variable speed from 1 to 6, and I think it goes from 15.5 up to like 31 or 31.5 speed. I thought I wrote that down, but evidently I didn't. So it's got a huge variable speed if that's what you're into. I never change this. I always run it at full speed unless I'm cutting acrylics or some other material other than wood. But even hardwoods, everything, I cut at full speed. That's just what I do. I don't know, that might be wrong, but that's what I do. Anyway, so that's that. What else? I like the on and off as far as the batteries go. Super easy. They're not real tight. They go on really easy. It's brushless, which is definitely the way to go. And 24 volt, man. I got to tell you, I really like this thing. But we're going to go through it. What other features? Oh yeah, I've got a 4 amp hour battery and a 2 amp hour battery, which is nice. Let's see. Yeah, now let's get, I think that is, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go into doing some test cuts now. So I'm going to set this thing at 1/4 of an inch. This is my profile bit. I'm going to set it, that's actually a little bit more than 1/4, but it's close enough. So I've got a test piece here that I've already been doing some cutting on. So let's just see how this thing cuts. Now, I didn't put any of my fairy lights or my little auxiliary lights on this yet. I probably will, but I'll tell you, these little LEDs that come with the router, they work pretty darn good. Take a look. So this thing has got plenty of power to do just about anything that you want to do. It cuts really nice. It has, you heard a little bit of chatter there, but I think I've got the bit out a little bit too far. So I'm going to actually adjust that bit, because when I did my testing, it didn't chatter at all. I'm going to take the battery off, just for safety features. And so this is another thing that I wanted to share, is that, so it's got a shaft lock. One of the things I wish it had is I wish it had a 2-wrench option, but it doesn't have a way to grip the shaft with a wrench. So I wish it did have a 2-wrench option, but it doesn't. So now this is the way I found the easiest way to take the bit out. Now, so this has got what they call a safety collet. So you loosen it once and then you undo it a little bit, but the bit is still tight. I think it's called a safety collet. It might be called something else. And then you loosen it again. Now the bit will loosen up and you can take the bit right out. So I'm going to put that bit in a little bit further. And now we're going to tighten it up. But anyway, that safety collet on there, I really like the collet design. I took it out, looked at it. I really like the collet design. And the safety collet is something that you find more on expensive routers rather than inexpensive routers. So that's a nice feature. A little extra safety. So let's try this again. I'm gonna just eyeball it. Here we go. Again, I really like this switch where it's located. Man, that thing just flies through that wood. Now this is just redwood, so it's super soft, but I do have another piece of wood up here. Let's just try this. I think this is, I don't know if this is really a hardwood, but it's definitely harder than that softwood. So let's see what it looks like in there. It cuts that very nice. This is a chippy board, obviously, but it just flew through that thing like it was nothing. Really, I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with the power on this thing. I'm gonna change bits, and I'm gonna put the spiral upcut bit in, and we're gonna see what that looks like. Let's be safe. Take the battery out. It doesn't make sense not to take the battery off when you're messing with this thing, because it's so easy to do. I like my bits in tight. So now I loosen it a little bit more. Got that shaft lock engaged. and I will just, all right, so that's a profile bit, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. So I'm going to put this in pretty much as far as I can go. I'm going to back it out just barely. Now this thing, traditionally, this bit will chatter because of the length of it and because of how much sawdust you're taking out at one time. Let's just see how it does. Again, I'm super impressed with how fast this thing, that's about a 1/4 of an inch, something like that. Let's take a look and see how it does. So in the redwood first. It just plows through that thing, guys. I'm really amazed at how much power this thing has. It just cuts that really, really nice. So yeah, I got to tell you, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. I'll tell you, I'm as impressed with this as I am with the Milwaukee or the DeWalt. So if you look at the Milwaukee, the thing about the Milwaukee that I really like is the depth adjustment, and it's probably, it is a little bit better router than this Kobalt. But remember, I paid $199 just for the tool on this. Just for the tool, I paid $199 for this, and this I think the DeWalt is what did I about $199 on this. And now this is not. If you can get them on sale. This is just regular retail. Now, the DeWalt is still my favorite because I love the depth adjustment on the DeWalt. This ring system, I think, is the best out there. I haven't found anything that I like as well as that. But the Milwaukee is probably my second favorite. And this, gosh, I'm going to probably grab this as much as I am the Milwaukee. Now, some of the pros and cons. So, the switch I really like. Oh yeah, with the 4 amp hour battery, I gotta say, let me pull this off of here. Now, on a lot of routers, this is another test that I did on a lot of routers. With the 4 amp hour battery, it becomes very top heavy, and this is heavier than the 2 amp hour battery. But I did some test cuts with the profile bit in, and I was still able to control it by lifting my base plate out. It didn't feel real top heavy. Now, other routers that I've used do feel top heavy with a big battery on top. Now, how long the batteries will last, I didn't test that, but my hunch is all of the other ones that I've tested were about 15-20 minutes on the 2 amp hour battery. 4 amp hour battery probably will go, you know, twice that at least, maybe a little bit more. But as you can see, I have a lot of batteries, so I'm pretty good. I think I could carve for hours with the batteries that I have. So I love the power. The power is, I think this is as powerful or more than either of these two. And for that money, at $119, and again, you might be able to find them on sale at you know, $110 or maybe even $100. And it does have a 5-year warranty on it, which is I think terrific. Let's see the bad things. Now, what you will notice, now this, for some, this may be a deterrent. So when I turn it on and off, listen. Hear how long that took to stop? Well, that's because it doesn't have a brake on it. Now listen to the DeWalt and the Milwaukee. I gotta always look for the switch. It's got a stop. It's got a brake on it. So to me, that makes no difference at all. I don't really care, but the Milwaukee and the DeWalt both have a brake on them. They almost instant stop. This, it just slows down as it slows down like a regular corded router. That's not that big a deal to me. I really don't care. Again, I wish it had a 2-wrench option. I wish that shaft had a notch on it for a second wrench, and the depth adjustment. But those are pretty much the only cons that I could find on this thing, and I played with it yesterday for a couple hours. Let's see, what else did I have on here? No, I think that is about it. So again, this this sells for about $119, and I think it is well worth the money, especially if you have extra batteries like I do. So I'm really glad that I bought this thing. It will become a staple in my arsenal, and I got to tell you, I'm becoming a real fan of these cordless routers, especially the quality ones. And I think these all three are very, very quality routers. But this one, I still would put it number 3 after these two, but not by much. Not by much at all. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions on this, and again, I'm not sponsored by I'm not sponsored really by anybody. I'm not sponsored by any of these. This is just my opinion, and again, this is my opinion when it comes to carving signs. If you're doing edges or dados or grooves or plunge cuts or any of those other things, I don't review in response or in regards to those. I review in regards to carving signs. But I would carve any sign I've got. I would definitely use this to carve, and I really like it. And those LED lights, I think they actually outdo these two LED lights. Those things are really bright. Anyway, that is it, guys. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, email me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. If you need any router bits or supplies, you can find us, makeawoodsign.com. That's our website. And give us a thumbs up, and please like and share this video of somebody that you think this might be useful for. And we love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.